All right, hey y'all. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Okay, so today I wanted to take y'all along for a little ride along with me and Red. We're headed to the mill. We've got a load of logs on. In fact, it's that last load that y'all got to see us load. The first part of the video, the first 8 or 9 minutes or so, is going to be just driving to the mill. And then after that, it's going to be us dumping the logs off, and you'll get to see it from my helmet cam view. So you'll get to see some up close things of what I have to do to make it possible to get these logs off. Anyway, I hope y'all like it. Alright y'all, a little bit of background on Red here. He's a 1988 model Chevrolet C70. He's got a big block 427 tall deck engine with an Eaton 5-speed transmission and an Eaton 20,000 pound rear axle with a 2-speed rear end. So basically we've got a high and low for each gear that we shift through. It's got a 650/717 rear end gear ratio, so he's anything but fast. 50-55 mile an hour going down the highway with a load is about all he wants. Now here we're going to start up Big Hickory Creek Hill, and y'all get to see how this old big block 427 will lug down. Now coming up on our left here, y'all, is Mayfield Lumber Company. They take a lot of our hardwood timber that's harvested in our area, and they process this timber, sawmill lumber. They process it, plane it, and treat it, and all that good mess, and send it out for retail purchase. Now y'all, this old 427 runs an awful lot like a diesel does, or pulls like a diesel does, I guess you could say. It does better on the low end part of things. If you keep let it lug down there about 1600 RPM, should go to building a fire, and you can go right on with a load. Versus if you try to keep the RPMs up like you do on a small block engine, it don't do you a whole lot of good. It just creates a lot of heat. These tall deck engines were made for these big trucks like this, and they were made to make torque down low, because that's what they are, the torque producing engine. So a whole bunch of RPMs don't do a whole lot for you in these engines. It's better to kind of shift it quick and keep the RPMs down low, and it just seems you get along a lot better, seems like. Now, for any of you that's interested in it, might try to do a video a little bit later on how to shift a 2-speed axle. I know that's not a real popular thing anymore. There's just not many of them around like it used to be. But maybe we'll get into that and do a video on that here soon. And maybe I can get my camera set up a little better, so next time y'all can actually see the gear shifter and my clutch work and footwork, if you will. Now the first thing we got to do is get in here on the yard, and there's a little bit of a hill right here to my left that I try to always position on, because it kind of gets the bed of the truck going downhill on the offside, and that helps my logs roll off a little bit better. And I can kind of feel the hill. That's why I'm easing up and backing up, all that good mess. You kind of just have to go by the seat of your pants and feel what the truck's doing, if that makes any sense. Now y'all, these where I'm hooking these clevises in on these pipes are actually going to come out and hit the ground whenever I dump this load, and I've got to have something hooked to them pipes to pull them out from under the logs. If I didn't have this chain on here, y'all, my pipes will be stuck under the logs when they come off and land on top of them, and I wouldn't be able to get my pipes back out. So what I do is I put this little short chain between them with these clevises on them. shackles, I mean. And then I take my rear binder chain there and I just pull my binder chain off and lay it on the ground back here behind the truck. And then that's what I'll hook the truck to pull the pipe out from under the log pile. Do one last check, make sure there wasn't nothing in the way. Now we're going to go over here and take the lock off and get ready to dump. Now every once in a while this will happen. You'll trip it and really nothing kind of happens here. And what it is the handle over on the other side that controls the rod that goes down the side of the bed that hooks the cables on. The handle won't go all the way because it don't have a lot of pressure on it, side pressure from the logs, and you have to go over here and mash that handle down and then they'll come on off just like that. Now y'all, I definitely can't stress enough how dangerous this is, and you definitely want to be up and kind of toward the front of the truck. You know, you don't want to be nowhere near where them logs are coming off, because it can crush you, kill you, break your back, you know, break your legs. You know, those logs ain't gonna show you no mercy. You've got to be out of the way. And a lot of times, you know, we loaded this load with a skid loader, so the logs was just kind of placed on there real easy. But now with the side loader, typically you're gonna have side pressure on those side standers. So whenever you trip it from the other side, typically it's gonna, you know, trip your standards and they're gonna fall because it'll have a little pressure on it. This time they didn't. Now I'm rolling these logs off of my pipes just so it'll be easier to get the pipes out from under the load. Now them two there are wedged, so what I'm going to do is back the truck up out around it and then just pull up to my next area. The way you want to unload is you want to dump a few logs off and then pull up, dump a few more logs off and then pull up again until you're done, if that makes any sense. So there's going to be a lot of getting in and out here, and the reason being for this, y'all, is because the mill's not open today. You know, this is a Saturday, and a lot of times when I do go to the mill, it's not open. You know, nobody's there, because it'll be after hours or on Saturday. So this side loader makes it doable for me and my schedule that I have. Alright, see how I've pulled up far enough now that we got plenty of room to get the rest of the logs off. So now I'm just going to take my PV, do a little bit of PV work here, and see if we can't roll them right on off. Come on now. Now y'all check this out. See how I pull that log back against the wheel when I roll these other ones off, it'll roll. See how it hit it and then rolled out away from the truck? That's a good little old trick to do right there. If you'll keep one log up there next to the wheels, it kind of serves as a backstop, if you will. And the rest of them will sort of bounce off of it and roll on away from the truck. Now I'm going to have to get up here on the log bed. This is one thing about having a side loader truck, especially unloading. It does make it nice that you can unload when the mill's not open. The problem is a lot of times you're going to have to do some PV work. I've thought about coming up with a cable design that would go under the load and back over the top of it, and then use like an electric winch to anchor off to one of these trailers or a tree or something like that and help pull the load off. And I'm probably going to do that at some point in time because we're going to have to pull this big log off on the bottom. We're going to have to pull it off with a chain and a swamp hook. So the winch thing has crossed my mind several times. I just haven't put it into play yet. Okay, so here's another trick. Watch me roll this log over first. There's 2 more logs left on the bed. The truck right now, y'all, is leaning toward that big log because of all that weight. Now once I get this log moving, I'm going to ease it over to the very right hand side of the truck, or to my left, I guess you could say. See how I'm going to ease it up right there, and we're going to try to hold her right there. And what that'll do is that'll balance the truck out a little bit better to keep it from leaning so hard, because even if you got the truck facing downhill, y'all, sometimes with them big logs on one side, it'll make it lean to a point where you can't roll them. Now, spoiler alert, I'm not going to be able to move this thing. I can just tell you. It's a big old butt cut out of a red oak, and it's heavy. And with that swell in it and everything, I just ain't going to be able to do nothing with it.
Let's see.
So what we're going to have to do is go ahead and knock that log on the off side, go ahead and knock it on off, and then we'll take a swamp hook and a chain and we'll drag this other one off.
Nope. Ain't gonna happen. That's all right.
Now y'all remember that swamp hook I'm always talking about? Here it is, y'all. There's so many uses for this thing. And if you're gonna log with horses or mules, this tool is just a very, very good asset to have in your arsenal. I'm not saying you couldn't get by without one, but I tell you one thing, I sure wouldn't want to have to. This thing is super handy. But see, we're anchored off to that log trailer there, y'all, and it's loaded down with logs. I mean, there's no doubt about it that it's a good anchor. So the first thing I'm gonna do is get this on here on the front. We'll ease up and let it kind of pull the log around sideways, and then we'll reposition the swamp hook and then pull it right on off. See if we can do something with it right there. Probably not, but maybe. All right, now that we got the swamp hook repositioned, we'll pull up one more time and it'll just roll it right on off the back of the log truck. All right, y'all, it is that easy, but now we got to get the chain out from under the log, and there's no way I can pull it out. If I had the mules here, I could snatch it out with the mules, but they're not here either. So what I'm gonna do is just hook my chain right onto the log bed on the back of Red, and we'll just let Red pull it out. And then I'm gonna go ahead and go right on over to my log pile over there to where I can hook my chain from earlier for my pipes to get them out. I can go ahead and hook them up. You know, the more efficient you can be in stuff like this, the better off you are, because no matter how you cut it, y'all, no matter how you say it, it's hard work. So any steps that you can save or cut a little corner on, you know, you want to do it. You want to be safe about it, but you want to be efficient for sure. so we went ahead and got the first chain put back on the headache rack, and now we're fixing to pull the standard pipes out from under the log pile. And then we'll put the standard pipes back in the offside standards and reset them. Now I like to lean mine up right here beside the tires because I ain't got to keep doing a bunch of bending over. And y'all, if you fat like I am, you don't want to bend over no more than you got to. But anyway, call me lazy, whatever you want to call it. I try to call it efficient. But anyway, I'll lean them upside the tire here and get my shackles and chain off and go ahead and throw it back in the box. And then I'll get my pipe stuck back in my standards there and reset them. Alright, now right here is a crucial part of the operation. When you reset, and you got to pull that handle up right there. That's what rotates your hooks up on the bed. And you don't want to go all the way with it, but you want to get it up high enough that you can hook that cable in it and it not fall on you and hit you in the head. See right there how I'm going to hook that cable on that hook? See, I rotated that handle just far enough to where it'll stay. It's not locked, and I can get it on there, but it'll stay without hitting me in the head. And y'all, if them pipes were to fall and hit you in the head, it'd hurt you. Alright, now I can go up here and push my handle back into the lock. See the handle go in there and rotate that little piece. Alright, gonna tug on that cable. That one's good. Let's tug on that one. That one's good. Alrighty. I could have grabbed my chain right there and that might have saved me one step. But anyway, so now I'm gonna grab my locking mechanism, put it back on, slide it on there. Now she's locked. She can't, she won't trip accidentally now. Now I'll get my chain, put it back in the box, and the next thing after this is going to be marking my logs with my initials. So that way the mill knows that these logs are ours and where they come from. Now every time I do haul a load in, y'all, I do text the mill owner and I let him know that I've hauled a load in so he knows to be expecting it. And also whenever I get the load sheets, I get 2 copies. And one copy goes to the landowner and I keep the other copy, and those copies come directly from the mill. It's nothing I've done or none of my calculations. It has to do everything with the mill, so that way there's no guesswork in the money part of it, and no guesswork in the footage and all that good mess. The landowner gets to see everything that I'm doing and there's no guesswork. Well, y'all, I really do appreciate y'all coming and hanging out with us and taking a ride with me, and seeing some more aspects of the logging business, particularly mule logging business and side loader truck operations. I just really appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for the comments, the likes, subscribes, and all that good stuff. Hey, look, it don't go unnoticed, y'all. I really do appreciate you. Thank you, and take care, and God bless you.